In this video tutorial, we'll be building a full stack video streaming application just like YouTube. And this project is powered by Node.js and Next.js on the front end. This app delivers seamless and dynamic user experience. Within this app, you can be able to play back videos, you can be able to check the statistics of your video, you can be able to check your video history, you can be able to see your favorite, check trending videos, you can be able to actually create and upload videos to Bunny CDN and also playback. This application also tracks your last watch time and everything. It also shows you your history, your watch history, and also show you the bookmarks and all the channels that you have subscribed to. We have used different tech stack in this video, including Bunny CDN, where we handle the video processing, and our video, once we upload our video can be able to process to different resolutions. We also make use of Next.js as a full stack framework for actually building our video streaming application. We have also made use of MUI Toolpad, where we can be able to craft our own dashboard from scratch. We have also made use of Node.js since Next.js is built on top of Node.js. And we also make use of MongoDB, where we'll be able to save our video records in a database for tracking.
Let me show you the demo of our application. So you can see our application over here. When we come over here, all the videos are listed. So we can choose to view videos per category. So you can see it over here. If I switch to technology category, I'll view the videos, entertainment, and health, and all the like. So if I want to view all the videos under all the categories, I can click over here, and we have a video. When we hover over the video, you can see the preview, any kind of video over here, just the way YouTube works. We also have the title, we have the option icon over here. We can choose to save a video, but if we are not yet logged in, to ask us to log into our application or create an account, we can click over here to share even without being logged in, and we can be able to share this video to different platforms. So you can select any platform over here. So and you can click on a particular video. You can click on a particular video to view. So if I click on this video, I can be able to view the video details, like the video playing. So you can see I can click over here to mute the video. So click over here to select the quality of the video or the speed. So if I click over here, I can see different qualities, just like on YouTube. So over here again, I can choose to view the video in full screen mode. So and I can also choose to view the video in what, picture in picture. So over here, as I scroll along the page, the video will still be playing over here. Also, you can also be able to, if you notice, if this video is playing, you can see at the top over here it is logging the time. So let's play the video. You can see when it gets to after every 5 seconds, we save user's last view. So you can see over here, so that the user can be able to copy this URL and share to his friends, and when they come, they will start watching the video at that particular time. So, and if for instance I can be able to subscribe to this channel, but if I'm not yet logged in and I click on subscribe, it will ask me to log in, although this one is displaying over here because I am not yet logged in. So let's go ahead, click on sign in over here and use our account to sign in. By the way, if you don't have an account, you can click on register to register a new account. So since I already have an account, I'm going to click on this one to sign in over here. So once I'm signed in, you can see our video. There is no more subscribe button because this is my channel. And if you notice over here at the top, there is a notification over here, notification icon, and I have notifications available showing me people that have commented on my video over here. And if once I click on any of these notifications, I can be able to watch the video that the user commented on and also see the comments that the user made. So I can choose to click on any of these notifications to watch the video that the user commented on. So just click on any of these notifications and it will take you to that video. So you can see the video is loaded over here. This is the video that the user commented on. So if I want to see the comment, I will click over here on the comment and I can be able to see the comment. This will give me the title and the name of my channel and to show me the people that have commented, and I can be able to comment as well. So hey, this is fantastic. So if I hit enter, immediately I will see my comment appear over here, one at the top. So this is optimistic data update. So over here we use SWR for fetching our data and for also applying changes immediately to our UI. So you can see it over here. If I click over here, I can be able to close. I can click over here to share, and I can be able to share this video to different platforms. So if for instance I want to share it to WhatsApp or to share it to Twitter, I can just click over here and to go ahead and open X for me. If I don't have an account, I will have to create the account. So depending on the kind of social media platform you want to share the video, you can be able to share. You can be able to copy the code to embed this video in your website as well. You can also copy the link to the video to share it to your friends. You can also be able to download this video in different formats. So you can see 240p, 360p, 480p, 720p, 1080p, and even the original video resolution. So if I click on any of these, over here, you can see the video is downloaded at the top over here, and I can be able to go ahead and click on it, open it on my system to play. So, and I can be able to, if I have subscriptions, I can be able to subscribe, and once I subscribe to any channel, I will have the videos under that channel shown over here. So I can be able to bookmark videos as well, and all my videos that are bookmarked will be shown over here. I can click, if I like any video, it will appear under favorite, and I can be able to see my view history over here. And once I click on this, I can be able to see my view history of all the videos. I can also be able to see trending videos based on likes and comments. And if I have uploaded videos, I can click on this to also see my uploaded videos. So these are the videos that are uploaded under this particular channel. Once, if I click over here, I can choose to view any videos analytics. So let me just click over here to view this, my videos analytics. So it will show me the video details. It will show me how many views I've received, and 7 views, 1 like, 0 comment, and then 0 bookmark and 1 share. So it will also show me the views, so and the day. So on 18th of this month I received views, and it also show me views by country. You can see someone from Canada, from Nigeria over here. It will also show me the watch time of my videos. So you can see on 18th, about 2 minutes of my video was watched, and it also show me watch time by country. So if I hover over here, you can see about 220 times my video was viewed from Nigeria about 220 times, and from Canada about 26 times. So, and there are other things that you can be able to perform within this application. So you can see we have nice navigation over here that you can view navigation in mini. We also have search bar at the top where you can be able to search for video. So if, for instance, I want to search for dance video, and I type dance over there, you can see it has suggested all videos under dance for me with this highlight. So you can see we have also highlighted the term, the query that the user inputted over there. If I want to watch any video, I will just click on the video over there, and it will take me to the video, and with the preview and everything. And the player can enable sound over here. The video has sound. I can be able to view, watch in full mode, full screen, and all the like. I choose to watch the video or comment and all the like. And another thing over here, we have settings page over here. Under the settings page, you can choose to update your bio over here and then save everything. Just click on save. You can see bio updated. You can choose your player settings. For instance, you want your videos to loop automatically or to be muted automatically. You can change the banner of your channel. You can change your profile picture as well, and you can also provide feedback to the owners of this system. So you can highlight over here, enter anything, hello world, and then send the feedback, and it will be sent successfully. You can also come to help over here and then view help on how to watch video, how to upload, and how to manage your subscriptions and troubleshooting issues. So, and if, for instance, over here, you can be able to also create a video. So when you come over here and you click on this create, you can be able to choose a video and upload. So let me just click on this stuff over here and then select a particular video to upload. So I'm going to select this video to upload. So once you select a video, you can see this video will generate what thumbnails for you. So, and you can provide the video title like maybe YouTube Vistro Showcase. All right, and you can provide a description. So let's just copy all this stuff over here and drop it like that. You can be able to, you can enter tags. So maybe you can enter tags like Bistro, you can enter Vira, you can enter music, you can enter maybe lifestyle. So just enter the tags, but you have minimum number of tags of up to 20, a maximum of up to 20 tags, and you can choose the category that your video belongs to. So if it's about education, technology, entertainment, or anything, you can just choose it. There are many categories over here, but you can only select a maximum of 3 categories. So once you are done with everything, you can go ahead and click on what publish, and you can see a notification status over here that video is published successfully. So when you go back to the home page, you will be able to see your video that is uploaded. So if you scroll down, you will see the video here that is uploaded, and when you hover over it, you will see this preview. You can also choose to toggle between light and dark mode. So click over here and you'll be able to toggle between what light and dark mode. Or by default, the system picks the system. So and yeah, so these are the features of our application. So I'm going to also show you how you can be able to see your notifications in real time. So I'm going to log into another account and try to comment on a video that belongs to this particular user. You can see this user's name is Techman and the email is tech45@gmail.com. So let me log into another account. So this is a new Chrome account over here. So I'm going to click over here and sign in, and this one I'm going to use developer@gmail.com. By the way, I've already created this account. If you're not created, you can click on register and register new account. So I'm going to sign in. So once I sign in over here, you can see this video belongs to another user known as what? The user is known as Techman. So I'm going to click on this video details over here, and I will choose to comment on this video. I will say, hey man, this is a beautiful channel. So I will hit enter, and immediately you see the comment. So I'm using optimistic data update over here. So you can see immediately I post this, and then it appears in the comment section. So let me switch to the other account, and you see the notification at the top. So once I come over here, you can see this user is having a notification notifying that the user has commented. So this is happening in real time. So you can see the comment, hey man, this is a beautiful channel. So if I go back over, if I click on it, I can be able to also view the video and view also the comment. So once I come over here in this video view details page, I can click on this to expand to see the description of this video as well. So I can see the tags, I can see the description of this video over here. So, and another beautiful thing is that if you are not the owner of this video, you will not see this analytics unless you are the owner of this video. So I'm going to switch to the other account. So once I switch to this other account over here, and maybe I go back on and I click over here, you can see there is no option of what? There is no option of analytics because I'm not the owner of this video. So only the owners of a particular video can be able to view the analytics of that video. So you can see different kinds of beautiful pictures that are implemented. By the way, if for instance our page over here, our data fetching over here has a load more button, and if we fetch data up to some certain the limit that was specified, we will see a load more button appear at the bottom over here for us to load more data. So, and you can see how beautiful it is looking. When we go over the video, we can be able to see the preview, we can be able to see the views, and we can be able to see the time that the video was uploaded. We can click on this to save this video to bookmark, and if we already bookmarked, the video will be removed from our bookmark, and if we have not bookmarked already, it will be added to our bookmark. And we can come over here to see the subscription. If we subscribe to any channel or to multiple channels, we can be able to see their videos just the way YouTube works over here. And if we come to bookmark, we can be able to see our bookmarked videos. When we come to favorites, we can be able to see our liked videos, and we can be able to also see the history of our video. So, and over here we can also be able to see the trending videos. So, and I can be able to see my videos if I've uploaded any video. So you can see this user's channel, and Peter Kevin Tove, that is my name, and you can see he has uploaded 5 videos. Currently he has 0 subscribers. You can see his email as well over here, and you can see his username. Although for the sake of this tutorial, we are displaying this email over here. And by the way, you can be able to also view a user's video based on their username. So over here, if I want to view this specific channel's video, I will just click on this user over here to view the user's video. So if I come over here, you can see the URL has changed, and you can see at Tech45, that is the username of this user at Tech45. That is over here, and I can be able to see the videos under this particular channel. So another cool feature is that we have implemented progressive web app. We have made this an app as a progressive web app as well. So we can, if we come to this app for the first time, you can see this desktop looking icon over here. Even when we are on mobile or on desktop or on any device, we can be able to install this application and it will behave natively. So if I click on this icon, you can see it is asking me if I want to install this app over here. So I will click on install, and it will install the app for me. So you can see it has installed and it has added to my Chrome apps, and you can see it over here with this cool looking icon, bistro. So this our app will behave like a word. This our app will behave like a native app on our device. So you can see how cool it is looking, and we can still be able to do everything, toggle between light and dark mode, and we can still be able to perform those features that we did over there. Another cool feature is that our app is SEO friendly. So if I click on this share and I copy the link over here, let me open a tab and search for Open Graph Checker. So this over here, and try to see how our app or our videos will appear like when shared on social media platforms. So just press the link over here and click on check website. So, and it will generate all the meta tags for us. So you can see these are the meta tags that we have included in our app. You can see this how our video will look like when shared on Facebook and on X, on LinkedIn, and on Discord. So you can see how beautiful this thing is looking like. So we can check, you can see that this our app is SEO friendly. We can be able to share the link to different platforms over here, and everything will look seamless. So this is one of the coolest features. Another cool feature is that our app is completely responsive across all devices. So if for instance we click on this to view it on mobile devices, you can see this is on iPhone 6, 7 and 9. So over here we can be able to see how everything is still displaying nicely. So you can be able to toggle between light and dark mode as well. So, and you can be able to scroll over here. You can be able to still view videos based on categories over here, and then we can be able to view our video over here in details. We can also be able to still perform our search over here at the top. We can search for anything, maybe like dance, and it will still go. So you can see over here our search is also working. On mobile, we can be able to see our notifications over here, and we can be able to also see our profile over here once we are logged in, and everything looks great even on mobile devices. So if you want to see how everything is built completely from scratch using Next.js, MongoDB, and Bunny CDN, please watch this video till the end. Please drop a comment for me there in the comment section, and also like and thumb up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more awesome videos like this. Before we start, let me quickly introduce you to some of the tech stack we'll be using in this video. So I'll be making use of Next.js over here as a framework for building our own application. We'll also be making use of MUI, that is Material UI, for building the front end of our application. And we'll be making use of Node.js. Remember, Next.js is run on top of Node.js, so ensure you have Node.js installed on your system. We are also going to be making use of our Bunny CDN. So Bunny CDN is basically the one that will handle our video processing. So it is the one that will transform our video. That is the one that will transcode. It's the one that will encode. It is the one that will basically handle processing our video into different resolutions. And we are going to be making use of MongoDB over here, the database for storing our records. So these are some of the tech stack that we'll be using in this particular project. So ensure you have them. Don't worry if you don't have them. I'm going to be explaining everything and as you follow along. Thank you. Alright, so let's bootstrap our application. So visit Next.js.org over here. So I'm going to copy this command and open my terminal. So go ahead and open your terminal over here if you're on Mac or on Windows. So I'm going to cd into projects. That is where I drop my project and nkd. And I will create a new directory known as, let me just go ahead and create a new project over here. What's the command and the name of our project? We can just call it, maybe let's call the name Vistro YT. So Vistro YouTube, and we use TypeScript, ESLint, yes, stay we know, source directory, yes, app router, yes, turbo pack, yes, import alias, we say yes, and then we type this at /**. So and then at this thing is installing, creating our application. Yes, once our application is successfully created, let's go ahead and cd into the name of the app. So type the name of the app, Vistro-YT over here, and hit enter. Then we go ahead and open it in our code editor. So this is our project over here. The next step over here is to go ahead and configure our next auth authentication. So let's do that. When we come over here, let's open new tab and search for Auth.js. And under Auth.js, let's click on this, and if you visit their website over here, you can go under installation. Let's copy this command over here, navigate back to our project. So let's open the terminal over here and paste this command. The next step over here is to set up our environment variable. So let's copy this command again and take it back and paste. And then if we check our project over here, we will see it has created .env.local file for us and drop this our auth secret configuration, because it's the one that we'll be using for authenticating our users. So the next step over here is to create a file within this our source directory known as auth.ts file and paste this inside. So let's copy it. So over here outside the source directory, let's create a file known as auth.ts file, and then we paste this inside. We'll be coming to work over here. The next step is to create another file inside app/api/auth and this. So let's go ahead and copy this directory name over here and navigate back over here. Inside the app, we have to create another directory known as API, and then inside the API we need to create a directory known as auth, and inside the auth we need to create a new directory. We paste what we copied over there, and then we will create the file known as route.ts file. Then we will copy everything over here and drop it inside the auth.ts file. Alright, so you can see error cannot find. So let's move this auth inside our source directory. So inside our source directory over here, we move the auth.ts file. So drag it and drop it over here, and the error should be gone. The next step is to create a middleware function. So let's copy this over here and open our source. Within our source, let's go ahead and type this middleware. So middleware.ts file, this file over here, and paste this command just like this. So after we have done with this setup, this is the basic auth setup over here. We'll be working with our providers, and in this video we are going to make use of what credentials provider. So but before that, let's go ahead and set up our MUI. Before we do this authentication, let's go ahead and set up our MUI as well. So in this video, I'm going to be making use of MUI Toolpad. So that is what we'll be using to generate this is the library that we'll be using to generate our dashboard. So over here, so visit MUI Toolpad and we click on this, and we can come to let's just copy this command first of all and install it. So we will navigate back over here, open your terminal, go ahead and paste it, and we can, since we're making use of Next.js, so let's go ahead and copy this and then open your terminal and paste this command as well. So after we are done with this, let's go down to Next.js app router under integrations, Next.js app router integration, and then we can copy the same thing that we have already done. Let's copy it and take it back, paste it. The next step over here is in our layout, we should create a file like this and import next app provider from this step, and then from there we can start creating our dashboard. So, but since we want to integrate authentication over here, we have started the integration of authentication already. So we have to copy this code over here to our middleware. So let's go ahead and copy this. We already copied this upper part. So let's go ahead and copy this one. So in our middleware file, open the source. In our middleware file, we will go ahead and paste this one below, since we're integrating authentication over here in Next.js app router. So this is the basic. We'll be coming to configuring this. So we will also have our words. Like this one, make use of GitHub authentication provider. So let's come back to our app over here. The first thing that we need to do is let's open this Auth.js. We need to configure another library that we need to install is let's go ahead and install a library known as what Zod. So let's install Zod, and we install what Mongoose, because we'll be using MongoDB. So install these two libraries. So before we continue again, let's go ahead and set up our environment variables. So we click over here and create a new file known as what .env.development. So our development environment variables, we create a file like this. So over here, I'm going to explain. So I've added this MongoDB URL and our next app route. So I'm going to show you how to generate this. So MongoDB URL, you open your MongoDB, or if you are using it locally, you can go ahead and pass your connection URL over here. So, but like this one, I'm using an Atlas. So you can log into your Atlas and copy the path. Let me show you how to get your MongoDB connection URL. So once you open your MongoDB Atlas, or if you are using it locally, you can go ahead and get a connection string. But since I'm using Atlas, I logged into my account. You can log into yours as well. You click on this. Once you come to this overview over here, maybe you must have created a project like this one. I'm using project 0 over here. Just come to this word overview and click on get connection string. So from here, you can copy this over here and take it down to back to your application. You can see what we just copied over here. So go ahead and replace this password with your own. So I've replaced my password over here. This is the only thing that you need to replace. So, and you are good to go. The next step over here, we have defined another environment variable for our words as our app URL. So you can see this our app URL over here. In order to generate this thing within VS Code, just go ahead, open your terminal over here, and within your VS Code you should see port. So go ahead and click on forward port and indicate the port that you want to forward. So like this one, I want to forward port 3000. Click on it and wait for it. So once the port has been provisioned, so you can see the URL over here, you can be able to click on this to view your app. But first of all, change the visibility to private, to public if you want users outside your network to access this. So you can change it to public over here, and if I click on this to open in the browser, I should be able to open my app, although I've not yet started my app, so this will fail for now. So with this is where I actually got this URL as my public app. So this will be helpful when you want to share your app with others. So like you want to share your app on social media with others to preview. So the next step over here is to configure our Bunny API. So if you don't have Bunny CDN account, go ahead and create new account. So let me show you how to get all these configurations. Visit bunny.net. So this is the website over here, and click on, if you don't have an account, click on get started. But since I already have an account, I'm going to click on what sign in. So I'm using my Gmail to sign in. You can see it has signed me into my account automatically. And once you come over here, you can be able to do a lot of things. You can be able to, if you click on this add, you can be able to add a cold zone, or you can be able to add a storage zone, or you can be able to add a string word library. So string library is the one that we're uploading our videos. The storage zone is where we can be able to upload any kind of file, and the pull zone is the one that we can be able to pull our files from any of these. So this serves as what, like a kind of a CDN. So that is what you're going to do. So if you click on this stream over here, you should be able to see different kinds of things. So you can add different libraries. So like over here, let me go ahead and maybe you can add a new library over here by clicking on the plus sign at the top over here, like this one over here. You can be able to click over here and add a library. Select the region where you want that particular library to be, and you can see different kinds of cost. So but as for starting, you can use Bunny CDN for up to 14 days free of charge until after the 14 days before they will start charging you. You also have storage. If you don't have a storage yet, you can click on add storage zone over here, and you can add a storage zone. Select where you want the region to be hosted and all this kind of stuff, and then click on add storage zone. So but I already have a storage zone that I've created, and I'm going to be using it like this bistro, and it is the place that I'm going to be uploading my videos. Over here you can see some of the previously uploaded videos that I've uploaded. So, and you can also, if for instance I click and I go back over here, if you don't understand anything, you can go to their documentation, or you can go to their API reference, and you will see how you can be able to use different kinds of things. They have explained everything in details. So, and for the sake of this video, let's go ahead and see how we can be able to get a configuration. So first of all, under this let's go under we can click on this stream over here. But first of all, let's go under CDN. And on this CDN, I told you that you can be able to add different kinds of different kind of positions. So like this one that I'm making use of is Vistro. You can go ahead and add another one. So we can make use of this Vistro YT. So when you click on this Vistro YT, you will be able to see the host name and everything. So let's copy this host name over here. So if we come down over here under, that was under what? This was under CDN. So we can replace what we just copied over here. So let's replace that. Since it's a URL, we will paste this one over here. So replace it with this key over here. Next, underscore storage URL. Go ahead and replace it like this. So with your own configuration. The next step over here is to see how we can be able to, this one over here, this environment variable, go ahead and set any key that you want your files to be unique so that you can be able to detect when you upload a custom file or when you change the thumbnail of your video. So like this key over here, when you are uploading video to the stream library, this key over here, it is always going to be this URL. So it's always going to be this URL. So and then our video library also has an ID. So let's navigate back and then go on that stream over here. If you come on that stream, you should be able to add a video library. And if you add a video library, it will generate an ID for you. But since we want to make use of this YT library that we have created, we can come over here and you can come under API. If you come under API, you should be able to see your stream details. So this is our video library ID. So we can click on this to copy and replace this one. So it is still the same. And another thing is we are going to be using TUS upload. So TUS is a kind of it's an API that assists us to resume our video upload when there is a network glitch or when we navigate away from a particular page. So we're going to see how we're going to upload this. So when you want to use TUS and API together with Bunny CDN, they have already provided a URL on their website. So if you check through their documentation, this is going to be the same for you as well. This is the URL that they have provided when you want to make use of TUS upload. So under the stream API, we need to copy our API key over here. So let's check it out. So when we come to stream over here, if we click on this I, we should be able to see our API key. So we can click on this to copy. Since the API key is the same, copy this and replace it over here. The next step is our Bunny string security key. So in order to get our Bunny string security key, click on this manage over here. So under stream, under API, and then click on manage. So when you come under manage over here, scroll down to security. And under security, click on token authentication. So and you'll be able to copy your URL token authentication key. So just copy this and then take it back and replace it over here. So it's still the same thing over here. So another thing is that we can be able to provide a webhook for listening to different kinds of events as they're happening when we publish our videos. So in order to do that, we need to provide a webhook that will point you from our application to Bunny CDN. So you can see this is the domain of my application that's hosted. This link that I generated over here, this one that is generated within the VS Code over here. This could be the URL of your website. So remember to replace it when you have hosted your application live over here. So and I want you to come to my app, point to my app, and my app is going to have API directory. So like this API directory over here, and I'm going to have a directory inside known as Bunny. So I can go ahead under this API and create this directory known as Bunny over here. And within Bunny, I'm going to create another file known as route.ts. Remember, when you are creating API within Next.js, this is how you handle this. So that's the reason why I provided this. And then you also have to, we want to secure this route so that if a user tries to call this route and if the requests that are coming to this route are not coming from Bunny CDN, we can be able to reject. So we handle the validation within this route when we come to handle this. So I decided to create a custom key over here. You can pass any name of your choice over here, pass a unique key. So generate any key and then pass it over here. So the same key that I pass in the URL over here is the same key. I will save it over here for my validation. So I say Bunny string API webhook key. So once I've configured my webhook URL over here, I will copy the whole of this URL and take it to Bunny CDN. Over here at Bunny CDN, click back on stream and click over here to view your video library. And if you go under API over here and you scroll down, you can see this webhook URL. So go ahead and replace what you copied over there with this and then save. So this will be our Bunny URL that will point into our application. You can see this is the domain name of application. We provided a key for verifying requests that will be coming from Bunny and CDN. So we are going to handle that as we move along in this video. So right now I'm just focusing on the configuration of our environment variables. So another thing is we need to configure our Bunny pull zone URL. So where we want to actually pull our stream videos. So if you create an account for the first time, Bunny is going to generate this automatically under the stream for you. So let me show you how to get it. So still under stream over here, first of all, you will see the CDN host name. So we can copy this, and if we take it back over here, we're going to start this HTTPS full column and then paste our URL over here. This is our Bunny full zone URL. So, and you can see this ID over here, it is actually the one that is generated for us. So this is our Bunny full zone. So this URL over here, you can see it ends with dot to show you that it's a subdomain under our d.cdn.net. So this is basically our unique full zone. So the next configuration that we need to do is for our storage. When we want to upload our file, the upper part over here that we have done is basically for our stream, our video stream. So when this one we handle our video stream, the next one is what you want to upload files like images or any kind of file to our unit storage. So we are going to go ahead and do the configuration. So if you come over here, go under storage where you may want to store the files. So you can be able to add a storage over here. So, but I'm going to make use of my existing storage. So I will click on this Vistro and I will come under FTP and API access. So when I come over here, I can be able to, you can see my username over here, and you can see your API key over here known as password. So all you just have to do is to copy this password over here and replace it with this Bunny storage API key. And then your storage zone, it is the same thing as the zone you have created. So like over here, my storage zone, if I go back, click on this storage again, you can see I have different storage zones. You can add more zones over here. I've created just 2 zones. You can add more, and I'm going to be making use of my existing zone known as Vistro. So that will be the name of your zone. Another thing is that your Bunny storage host name. So all Bunny storage host name is going to be storage.bunny.cdn. So another thing is you have to specify your region. So when creating, if you click on this add, and if you are creating Bunny CDN, you can see different kinds of zones over here that you may be able to add. So when you add different kinds of zones over here, maybe if you change this your main storage zone, if you change it to another zone over here like this one, it will generate another name for you over here. You can add the name of your storage zone over here, and if you change it apart from this default one, then it will create another subdomain for you over here. So, but if you are using the default one, then the storage region is going to be it's going to be empty over here. But if you go ahead and maybe you choose another thing like maybe New York, you may at the end of the day, if you click on this add storage zone, you may have something like maybe US over here as a storage zone. But if you choose this Euro Frankenstein, as a default storage region, this is going to be empty by default. So I chose that, and it's going to be empty for my own over here. But if it is yours, you chose another region, you are going to have something like maybe US, or depending on the kind of region that you chose. So this is basically our configurations over here. Our configurations. We may want to also be able to reference our environment variables as we type them. So in that case, we create a file known as env.d.ts. We want to be able to infer our environment variables when we type them. So the same environment variables that we have in .local over here and in .development over here are the same names that we pick them over here, so that when we open any of our files, this will help us to be able to infer that particular environment variable. So if for instance I am under API or any directory and I type this command process.env. It will be able to suggest all my environment variables for me. So all my configurations that I have done. So if you want TypeScript to be able to suggest your environment variables for you, just go ahead and create this file known as env.d.ts, and it should be able to work and be able to infer your variable, suggest your environment variable names for you. So these names that are over here are the same with the ones under .development and .local. So this is basically about our configuration. Remember that we want to set up our authentication. So, and we created a file over here. Our providers are empty, but we want to set up our credentials authentication so that our users can be able to make use of password and username or email to sign in. So in order to do that, let's create another file let's create another directory over here known as lib, and inside the lib we create another directory known as db, and inside the db over here again inside the lib let's create another directory known as actions. So let's just leave it like that, and inside the db let's create a file known as index.ts file, and we configure our Mongoose database. Remember that we installed Mongoose over here in our project. So if you have not yet installed, go ahead and type this command npm install Mongoose, and it will install it for using it with our MongoDB. So once it has installed, we can go ahead and do the configuration here. Alright, so we want this file to only run on the server. So we call this directive over here, just type this directory use server, and want it to use this import server only, so that it will be able to throw an error whenever we're not using this file on the server. So you can go ahead and install this package npm install. Let me clear this, type this command npm install server only. Npm install, then press this, or type this server only. So it will install the package for us. We want it to be used only server side. We import Mongoose from Mongoose, and this environment variable over here, this one that we defined in our .env.development. Remember, we pass our MongoDB URI over here. We are calling it, and we say if it is not found, we should throw this error. So and then we go ahead and try to establish connection to our database, and if it is established successfully, we say it is successful. So we can go ahead and change this, and we can call it what, distro. You can call the name of DB, any name of your choice. So if it's not existing, to create it for you, distro-yt, and if there is any error, we go ahead and log. So this is basically what we're doing. We want to be able to use it within our authentication. The next step is, let's create a validator over here. So before we handle this, let's create a validator. So go ahead and create another file known as Schema, and we are going to be making use of Zod library. So create a file here known as index.ts, and to import what, and z from what, we import z from what, Zod. So just like that. So go ahead and install this library known as Zod. I've already installed it, and we want to create account schema. So let's just export const what, and account schema, and under this we say it's going to be an object over here that we take, and we specify our Zod what validator over here, and we don't want ID that's associated for us, we don't want row for now. So and we can pass this email, want it to be a string, and we want it to like email is required. If the email, we can still pass the same error message over here, like invalid email address. And under this name over here, we want name to have a minimum of 2 characters, so we can just call minimum, and we can specify the error message over here. So just open over here, and if the minimum is not reached, we can say name must be at least 1 character. Name must be at least 1 character, and we can also choose to specify the maximum. So let's just say max over here, and we can say the maximum name should be what, maybe just 50 characters. So we can just say and specify the error message that will be shown to the user if it exceeds, or if an error is thrown. So if an error is thrown, so we can say name must be what, at most. So here we change it to at most 50 characters. And our password over here, and within this our password, we want to actually pass a validation. So over here we can say we want our password to be what, we actually want our password to be a string, and to have a minimum of to have a minimum of 8 characters and have a maximum of 32 characters. This is just the basic our schema validation over here. So our count validation. So we export this and make use of this in our Auth.js configuration. So over here we want to make use of credentials provider. Before we proceed with our provider's implementation, let's go ahead and augment this our Auth.js. So we want to change the user, what will be returned from the user when the user is authenticated. We want to return the ID, the email, the name, and the image, the banner, and the username. So if you want to augment the Auth.js user that will be returned, then you should do declare module next auth like this, and then also provide this interface of user and interface of session. So the same thing that will be returned over here to be the same thing that will be returned over here. And we also want to throw a custom error, because we don't want our page to refresh when we are trying to create an account or to sign in. So with that, we create a class of what, next auth error, and then we extend the credential signing. So we extend it like this, and we want to go ahead and configure this to be able to receive this error in our front-end application. So over here we are saying that this code should be equal to the message that will be thrown over here when we start implementing our credentials provider, and say this message should be equal to this. So let's start implementing our credentials provider over here. All right, so within this, let's import our credentials provider from next auth. So over here, type this credentials. So credentials, and it will suggest import for you. So you can see it is imported from what, providers over here, and it's going to be a function, and within this function we need to pass certain configurations, so like the name and ID, but we want this ID to be unique so that we'll be able to call. We want to implement 2 credential providers over here, and then one we handle our sign-in and one we handle our sign-up. So if you want them to be unique so that we can be able to make requests to a specific credential, we will give them a unique ID. So like this one here, I can call credentials up, so to signify sign up. So and then the name is going to be credentials, just like this. Then we have to take another configuration. So the configuration over here is to specify what, if you start typing, to suggest for you credentials, and it will ask us the credentials that we would like to take. So we like to take an email, that is true. We also like to take what, name over here, and the tag will be text, the label will be name, that is good. So when the user is signing up, we want the user to provide his name, email, and password. So just like this. So after this, we have to also call another function, a sync function known as what, let's call another function, another async function known as authorize. So, and then over here, this is where we're going to handle the logic of signing up a user. So let's go ahead and remove this. This is where we're going to validate our signing credentials that has been passed over here. We validate it over here in this authorize function and also return the user at the end. So since this is an async function, let's go ahead and open a try catch block, and then within this over here, we will go ahead and validate our credentials. So over here, we need to call this, if you remember, we created an account schema over here for validating our credentials. So we can call this, import this account schema from schema and say account.what pass sync. So it's going to be an asynchronous function, and then we pass in the credentials that we want to validate. So you can see over here, it is going to, if you click over here, our accounts, we are going to await it since it's going to be an async function, and it should return the email, the password, and the name over here. The same credentials over here. These are the one. This one over here, the same credential we specify over here as a config. We pass to this authorize. We take it and do what? Validate it whether it's it passed through our schema. So, but then what if an error occurs? If an error occurs, it will fall under this our cache block. So within this, we check if error is instance of next auth error, but we don't want to check for this if it is instance of what Zod error, since we're using Zod library. So if it is instance of Zod error, we can go ahead and get the error. So we can go ahead and say const. But before that, let's say let's message. We declare a variable and say let's message be equal to error dot what message. So let our error be equal to n. So if error instance of what Zod error, then we can go ahead and get the errors that have been thrown within our Zod validator here. So we can say message over here is equal to remember our error, if it's an instance of Zod, then our error is going to be what it will contain Zod error. So we can say here const underscore error of type Zod error, or type Zod error is equal to error. So with this we can be able to get the issues. So let's say const issues is equal to what underscore error. If you press dots on your system, you can see different kinds of things that will be returned. So but we want to get the issues over here, then we look through the issues and get issues. Going to be an array of issues depending on the validator what failed over here. So in order to get the message, we can just go ahead and look through the issues. So dot map, so we can get each issue, and then for that each message over here we will return the message from each issue, and then we join it to return a string. So after we are done with this, we can go ahead and throw our next error. So you can see we'll go ahead and throw new next auth error over here like this. So this new auth, this next auth error is the class that we created over here and extended the credential signing. So this will enable us to capture the error without refreshing the page. So over here we'll go ahead and throw. So if this error that is thrown over here is not type of Zod, this block of code will be skipped. But if it is type of Zod, it will go ahead and replace this. We assign this message to our errors over here, and then we throw the error so that we capture it in our front-end application. So let's go over here and handle the logic of signing a user in. Alright, the next step over here is to connect to our database, connect to the DB. So over here we call connect. Remember our connect to DB function that we created. So we import it like this. So if we go over here, we should be able to see this connect to DB function that we created. So we have to connect to our database, and then from there we fetch a user. So check if the user exists. So like this one is sign up. If the user already exists, we don't want the user to sign up again, we will throw an error. So over here we can say const user is equal to await and user. So you can see we have to define our models. So let's go back over here at the top, and within this source directory, let's create another file known as models. So and within this our model, let's create another model known as user model .ts. So we can go ahead and define our Mongoose user model over here. Alright, so in order to define our models, we have created an interface of iUser extends document from Mongoose, and we have specified the ID, the email, the password, the name of the user, the phone number, the username, the bio, email, banner, created at, updated at, and videos, because every user is going to be uploading videos. And then we have created a user schema over here. Const user schema is equal to a new schema of iUser, and then we have our email validator over here in Mongoose, password schema, and our password should be type of string. Our image should be type of string as well. We want the users to have banner and bio with type of string, and by default we want the value to be empty string. And we also have a username that is defined over here. We also have the name of the user, and username is required. Then at the end of this schema we specify that timestamps should be true. So this is basically how our schema looks like. So this schema is imported from Mongoose. Over here we create an instance of it. But the next step over here, we have to also create instance methods. So over here that we can be able to call on this user to maybe get user videos. So we say user schema.method dot, so, and we have created a method over here. We have imported a video model, so we are going to be creating that in a jiffy. And we have also imported what, we have also created another method for getting users or subscribers, where we get user subscribers from what, subscription model. We have also created a virtual key over here. When we want to get a user's video, we call this virtual over here, and we say the local feed should be mapped to our underscore ID that will be generated by MongoDB. And then we have also specified that the foreign key that is mapping to the user will be what, to the video model will be what, user. And we have also made some transformations over here. We first of all said we want to, if we call user document dot to JSON, then we should be able to transform the string, convert it into a string, because it's going to give us an object ID. And we want to delete the underscore ID. We also want to delete the hash. We don't want the version key to be present as well. So go ahead and export this mongoose.models.user, or what if it exists, or what mongoose.model. Then we pass in this type that we define over here at the top, and over here we specify the name of our user model, and then passing this schema over here, this schema that we have defined. So this is basically it. But then we need to create a model. So let's just go ahead and create these other models as well. So the next model that we create over here is the video model. So go ahead and type what, video model. So, and so we handle that. The next one over here will be what, subscription model.ts. So we also need to have a category model.ts. So let's handle this video model first. Alright, so over here in our video models, we have defined this in new, and we want our video can be in different states, can be draft, private, or public. We've also defined this interface. So over here where we have video ID, this video ID will be coming from Bunny CDN. So when we upload the video to Bunny CDN, we store the ID over here so that we can be able to fetch. So it will contain the title, a string, description, thumbnail, tags, a string array, and we have a flag to check if our video is ready to be publicly visible. We have status, which can be draft, private, or public. We have the user that we're referencing, the user that actually published the video. We have shares that will be showing the number of shares, that is the number of times the video has been shared. We have the category that will be types of object ID. A video can belong to more than one category. So we have also defined what, the kind of what, the instance method types over here. So below here we have called this video schema and new schema. Schema is from Mongoose over here, and then we pass in the type. After the type in Mongoose, we open a config that is the object, and then we define the type of our video ID, and we want it to be type of string and should be required and should be unique. We don't want duplicate videos. We want the title to be string and by default empty. We want the description too like that, and the tags to be by default empty array. Is ready by default should be false, because when the video is first uploaded it will be in draft mode. We want our shares by default should be 0. We specify our categories over here, and we have also specified our types, and these are our types. We want it to be type of string, but then it should take a new value, and this new value should be any of the value of this status only. So this is going to check against this. So, and then we now specify this user prop over here, user attribute, which will be type of what, Mongoose.schema that types that what, object ID, and to be referencing what, user model over here. So you can see this one over here as in the category is referencing what, category model, which will be creating in the jiffy, and then the user must be what, required, so that we can keep track of the user that publishes a video. So now over here we have defined some instance method for getting the total likes of a particular video, and the total likes will come from what, the favorite model. When somebody likes a video, it will be stored under what, the favorite model. And we also want to get the subscribers of this particular, the owner of this video, so we call the subscription model. We also define a method for getting the comments over here, so we call the comments model. So let's go ahead. We also have a method over for getting bookmarks of a video, which will be stored under bookmark, and we also want to check if the current user that is viewing this video has liked it. So we have created an instance method if what, this particular video is bookmarked. So these are the instance method that we have created. So from there we want to be able to search videos. So in order to be able to search video, we need to create an index on this model. To create an index, we need to call video schema.index, and then specify the kind of model that we want to create. So call the name of the key, and then we can go to specify different kinds of words, different kinds of index that you want that particular attribute to hold. So we want to create an index on our video title and description, so that it will be what, easily searchable. When we call to JSON method on an instance of video, we want to go ahead and transform. First of all, we want to go ahead and so we not just delete this. We go ahead and say what, just the way we have done it under user model over here. Let's go ahead, copy this over here and take it to video model. So we say rt dot what. So if we over rt is a record, and this one is going to be the doc. So we say rt dot id is equals, we want to transform, convert it into a string over here and attach. And we want to check if we want to fetch a user, and if the user is type of object, then we also want to what, convert that object string to what, to a string. So that object type, that Mongoose object type to a string. Then we go ahead and export our model over here. If the model already exists, pick it. If it doesn't exist, we go ahead and create the model in database. But you can see we have different models that we have called over here that we have not made use of. So we have the subscription model, we have the video favorite model. So let's go ahead and create this models over here. So go ahead and create this file, ts model, go back. The next model over here is video bookmark. So let's create the model.ts, and the next model over here is the comment model that we have made use of, so .ts. So first of all, let's go inside the subscription model over here. This subscription will basically handle subscribers to a particular user. So under the subscription model, we import Mongoose from Mongoose, and we export this interface over here. And this interface over here, we have defined it. We have extended the document from Mongoose, and then we defined it from user. So the user is currently subscribing to another user, and to user, who are they subscribing to? So this will be type of object ID because they will be referencing what? The user model over here. So, and we have defined our schema, and we say our schema is going to be what type of what of object ID, and it's going to reference the user model, and it's going to be required to user as well as our timestamp. Then we go ahead and export our model. As simple as that. The next model that we need to handle over here is our video favorite model. We want to write a video. So our video favorite model is simple as well. We create this interface of iFavorite over here, and it's going to take the video that the user likes and the user that likes the video. So all of them are referencing another model known as user and video model respectively. So, and then we start the timestamp, the time that the user actually will write the video, and then we export our model. Simple as this. So the next model that we handle over here is the let's handle our bookmark model. So our bookmark model is just like the favorite model. So it's going to which video are we bookmarking and who is bookmarking it. So it will take the interface. We create an interface of user, and then that takes place of words of video and words and the user over there. And we want the video and the user to be required, and they should reference the user and the video model respectively. Then we export it. So let's work on the video comment model. So under the video comment model, we want to know the video that the user has commented, the user and the content, that is the comment of that user. They created that and they updated that. So, and over here we create an instance of comment schema, and we say the video is going to be type of what? It will reference the video model, and the user is going to reference the user model, and the content is going to be what? String and required, the comment of that user. So, and then we create an index on video and or user if we want to search them. And we want to transform this when an instance of comment is this method of JSON is called on an instance of what? Comment. So we go ahead and convert this ID into a string for object ID, and we check if user exists, and if user exists as type of object that we are fetching, then we convert the user.id into what? A string, and delete the underscore ID, that is type of object ID. And we check the just, and if the user is just a string that we are importing, then we can go ahead and convert the ID into this as well. So, and likewise for video, we do the same thing over here. So just like that. Then we go ahead and export our comment to be used in other models. So we have handled the subscription, user, video model, comment, favorite, and video model. So, and since we have them now, I guess this error should be gone. If we call this again, this error should be gone because we have these models available now. So there shouldn't be any error. The next model over here to add is the feedback. Since we are handling models, let's go ahead and finish setting up the model feedback.ts over here. So let's handle, we have not yet done category, let's handle this feedback model. So the feedback model over here is just type of rating and having our interface of our user. And so what is the rating and the comment? So we have defined it to the user that is actually giving us feedback. We want to know the user over here, so we reference the user model, and then we go ahead and export the feedback model. Let's handle this category model. So under the category model, we create an interface of the name and our description. So our category schema is just going to have our name and description, and then we created art over here. So that is the time and the updated art. So, and then we created some set of what categories that we want to go ahead and insert in our database. So we want this to run immediately after our DB is connected. So we have created this function over here so that we say run. So after our categories have been created, we can now go ahead and comment this out. So we first of all check if there is no existing category model, then we go ahead and do what? We go ahead and create the models that is inside these models that we have defined over here, so that when the user is creating a video, you can be able to select which category the video belongs to. So then we console log category videos created successfully, and then we export the model. The next model we need to create over here is the notifications model. So I'll go ahead and call it notification model.ts. So notification model.ts, and over here we will import notification from what? iNotif kind from this. So but before we do that, let's create another directory known as what? Types. And then inside types we create a file known as index.ts file, and we can define our interface over here. Our interface of iNotif kinds, we want to define different kinds of notification. So we want to have the common notification, reaction, subscription. So we want to get all these different kinds of notification. So that's the reason why we are importing it here. So iNotif kind. So we define the message. We want the notification to have message, to have is seen prop is read. So is seen is when the user has seen the notification maybe on navigation bar, and then is read when the user has actually read the notification. So we mark, so this will be Boolean values and the kind of notification, whether it's comment, whether it's reaction, whether it's subscription. Then the video that the user is reacting on, and who is the sender, so who is reacting on the video, and who is the recipient. So and the comment of that notification. So if it is actually a comment. So and then we define our notification schema over here. Is seen is going to be type of Boolean, and its default false. Is read is Boolean as well. The message is going to be string, and it's going to be required. We define the kind and the values that we want it to take. We want it to take the new values of what I kind. Notification kind. The video is going to reference the video model, and the sender over here is going to be user. The recipient as well is going to be what user, and the comment over here we are going to actually what reference the comment that the user has actually what made. So we are going to have a video. We already have this video comment model over here. So under which particular what comment we are sending that notification. So we are going to define everything in this word notification model. After that, we have created a to JSON method over here. We want to transform this over here. So we call this to set, and to say if it is actually, we want to convert this underscore ID, object ID to an ID, and then delete it. We want to check if it is a sender. We want to also transform the underscore ID as well, and we also want to check if the user, if we are calling the recipient as well. We want to also transform and remove the ID, convert the underscore ID to string. We want to also transform the comment as well. If you are fetching it and there is underscore ID, we transform it to a string. And then we go ahead over here and we export this to be used in our application. The next model over here is video history model. We want to video history model. But yes, we want to keep track of user history, user video history. So if a user views a video, we want to keep track of that. So we have just created a simple interface. It's just like other models. So we have video, the user, and over here we define user, that we're referencing user, and the video we reference what the video model. So and over here we just export it to be used within our application. So after this, save everything. I guess these are some of the models that we need them for now. So we have the category model over here. We have the feedback model where we inserting feedback. We have the notification model. We also have the subscription model, the user model, the video bookmark model, the video comment, the favorite model, the video history model, the video model over here. So let's go ahead and then finish up our authentication. So if we go back over here, we are trying to actually call user model over here to get the current user. So over here we can say what video model or find one where what email is equal to that. So we will find this user based on email, and since email is what is unique over here, this user is trying to actually what sign in. So if the email already exists, this user is trying to sign up because we should have the ID credential sign up over here. And if the user already exists, we want to throw an error that user already exists. So we will throw an error if user throw new next auth error, what user already exists over here. But what if the user doesn't exist? Then we have to check for what password, and we have to check if the user's password that is provided over here matches with our password. So in order to do that, we need to install a library known as what bcrypt.js. Type this command npm install bcrypt.js like this. As the library has been installed, so let's go ahead and create another directory within our source known as utils, where we drop our paper functions, and within it let's create a file known as index.ts file. The next step over here is to actually hash the user's password and create new account. So create account over here like this, and we can say const hash is equal to what await bcrypt. So we can import bcrypt from bcrypt.js or hash password, and we can after that we can actually hash. After we hash the passwords, we can just call this new user model and create, or we can simply call, if you want to create directory, we can simply call const maybe new user is equal to await model.create and still pass it like this. It will still work. If you don't want to do it, if you still happen to implement it, whichever way that you want to implement it will work. Whether you use this method or you use this method for creating a user, it will still work. So let me just make use of this one over here, and then at the end of the day, where if you are using Auth.js authentication, you have to return at least an ID and an email. So but remember, we configured this to return what at least what ID, email, name, image, banner, and username. So over here, we want to also, if you remember our model, if you remember our user model has username, So we want to generate a username for that person. So in order to do that, we make use of this name to generate, and we make use of the password. So we can say username over here. The username of this user should be what? Name dot, email. The email of that user dot what? We split it. So we split it at add and then return it at what? Index 0. So if the user's email is maybe codesalmon at gmail.com, then and we split it using this add, then we want to go ahead and get this codesalmon and save as the user's name. So this is basically what we are doing over here. And when we are returning this, we can also return the username over here, just like this. So this is basically how we can be able to handle our sign up. But remember, this is actually for sign up. What if a user wants to log in? So we can copy the same credential sign in over here that we have implemented, put comma over here and paste it inside. But instead of having this ID as credentials off, we will change this stuff to what? To in. So this one signifies that we want the users to sign in. So when the user wants to sign in, we want to make use of what? Email and password. So, and over here we can go ahead and maybe create a schema from this. So we can say we can call const maybe sign in schema. So we can say const sign in schema is equal to account.pick word. Account.pick, since we are using result schema, we can be able to pick some attributes from our schema. So we're only picking email and word password. So we can just validate this one instead of validating the word and schema, because the user is going to send word only email and word password to this. So, and then we connect to our database and then we find the user. So if the user doesn't exist, we say what? Wrong. If not, in this case now we're going to say if not user, then we can say what? Wrong words, user, wrong emails / password provided. So just like that. So we throw this error to notify the user the wrong email / password or provided. So but what if the user is found with this email? So we can go ahead and compare the user's password. So first of all, we can go over here and say const is match is equal to a webcrypt.compare password. So the password that this user has passed, if you hover over it, you can see this function compare as we to take in the string password and the hash string. So since this other one is coming from our database, we say user dot, this is the password that's coming from the database. So we compare it if it matches. So if not matched, then we can still return the same error that we have returned. So wrong email / word password was provided. So but if the user has passed our validation, we can then go ahead and return this user over here. So like this, and we can also return the email, return the username, and to return this, we can also return the user's image. So over here we can say image, so and return the user's image if it is found like this, and we can also return the user word banner. So if it exists over there in the database, the user has updated his banner or it will be undefined. So if any error occurs, then we can go ahead, capture the error just the way we did it over there, check if it's a result instance and throw an error or throw the error back to the user. So this is basically how we can be able to handle our sign in and sign up within our application. So we can go ahead and call this endpoint in our front-end application and actually try to sign a user in. Alright, this will work, but then remember that we are saving our images in Bunny CDN. So since we are saving our images, we want to actually send the actual URL of this image so that it can be able to be previewed within our application. So both banner and images shall be updated shall be uploaded in Bunny CDN. So in order to do that, let's go to our utils directory. So if you don't have this directory already, create this directory utils and index.ts file. So and within this directory, we will go ahead and create a function that can be able to generate our image URL based on Bunny CDN. So let's create this function known as get file URL that will take the ID, that is the path of that file, and the file name. Then we can go ahead and call Bunny storage URL, the environment variable that we defined. So over here and then get the file. So but before we do that, let's go ahead within this source directory and create another directory known as config, where we will call all our environment variables. So inside it, create a file here known as our index.ts file. Within this our index.ts file, we are going to go ahead and export all our environment variables. These are the same environment variables that we configured at the beginning of this application. So all we are doing is we are creating a constant over here and saying the site name should be distro. You can go ahead and add things like maybe the description of your site over here. So we can be like the best video streaming service, just like that. So and then we call this export const app URL, so that to avoid calling process.env everywhere in our application. So this is what we are basically doing. The same environment variables that we configured over here in this development at the beginning of this application, that the same environment variable we are calling in our config, both in env.local and anywhere our environment variable exists. We are creating the variable names. We are creating variable names for them so that we avoid calling process.env.this everywhere within our application. So we have a one single point, and if you want to change the name anywhere, we can just come back to this file over here and change the name. So like this one over here, specify it as my player cookie key. So this one over here we use for saving our user player preference over here. So all this stuff are from this environment variable that we just created. So process.env, so you can go ahead and everything within that environment variable can go ahead and call it. So when we come over here, our Bunny storage URL where we'll be saving our file, we want to be able to pull the files. So this Bunny storage URL, if you go back to our environment variable over here, you should be able to see, let's find it over here, Bunny storage URL, look at it over here. So we can find this in our environment variable. So if you come over here and see it over here, this way we are going to be pulling our files as we upload them to local storage. As we upload them to Bunny storage. Once we upload them, we can be able to use this URL to get the files. So this is basically what is our config that we're doing, and our get file URL is composing the URL of that image. So once we have this, we can go back to our auth over here. So instead of having all this everywhere, let's create a function that will simply return this. So we can create a compose user function at the top over here. So let's just call it compose user. So and then it's going to take user of any now. So once it takes that, it will return this. So it will return this. But then we want to check if actually an image exists. So if there is an image, then we can call the function get file URL from utils over here like this and pass in our image, and likewise banner. So the same thing. So get file URL, but this get file URL is taking the ID. That is the path and the file name. So remember over here we already have our ID over here, so we can simply call this here like this, just like that, and it should be able to compose our user for us. So and once we come down to this our signee, we should be able to just return this word compose user and pass it the user, and everything works seamlessly. So likewise when we are signing in over here, so it's going to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and call compose user and the new user. So it will go ahead and create compose the user based on this and return it to application for us. So this is basically about authentication over here on the server. Alright, after we have configured our credential sign up, we also have to specify the session, the kind of session that we want. Do we want the session to be kept in the database or in JWT? So go ahead and type session over here, and session is going to take options. So open the session like this, and over here you should see what strategy over here, and the strategies that we're using in this project is what JWT strategy. After we have configured our session strategy, then the next step over here, after the credentials providers array, we need to specify the callback option. So if you type over here, there is a callback option over here to specify. So I'm going to go ahead and explain. So we have the sign-in option over here as the sign-in method, and if the user exists, if it does not exist, we throw an error. And the session, again, we want this particular user that is currently logged in to be attached to our current session. So we say if there is token and there is active session, then we want to get the user from the token and attach it to our session, so that we can be able to make use of the user within our application. And on that JWT over here, remember this is where we're getting the user. We're checking if token and user, then we go ahead and attach the user to the token, and then return the token. The token will be accepted over here in this method of session, and if token, then we want to go ahead and attach and use that to session over here. So just like that, and everything will work. So this is basically how we can be able to set up this. After we are done with this, we can now go ahead and set up our own MUI toolpad, so that we can be able to log into our application.